Good to go. Steve, how would you look back on last weekend against Birmingham, reflect on that a week later?
I think, sincerity, having watched it back twice and almost speeding full rerun in a nice part of my house, just sat there on my own watching it. I think up until they scored the first goal, we were really good. We've all the play. We've got them camped in their own half. The manager comes in and spoke about that, but I wasn't really listening to him, what he was saying after the game, if that makes sense. We were going through small talk, but he made that comment. But it stuck out. I think the first goal changes the game because we've said it, Birmingham is a little bit exceptional in terms of the resources they have, and the recruitment's been terrific with Craig Gardner and the team down there. So from that point of view, I think they took over, the confidence grew, they got a second goal, and we were second for the rest of the afternoon. That's the reality of last Saturday.
Is it difficult to accept that because we know what a Steve Evans Rotherham team is like, and they tend to they make life uncomfortable for opponents? Did you do that enough after that first goal?
No, we'd have made it uncomfortable if we'd have scored in that first 15 minutes, and we had an opportunity to score a goal, and it's been a little bit of an Achilles heel since the start of the season, but we had that opportunity and we didn't take it. And you need to build on those positive starts, especially against the good teams. It's no difference to cup tie football. When you start well against a higher placed opposition, you have to take advantage of situations, and we never done that. So, and I think the confidence when Birmingham scored totally against a run of play, then it sort of sunk our lads a little bit, what it shouldn't have done, because our performances in the main have been good, but it did. So we've tried to learn from that this week.
There was a little bit of negativity after that game. To any supporters who are concerned when they look at a league table, and it is still early in the season, Steve, what would your message be to those?
Well, league tables never lie, whether it's 2 games or 10 games or 20 games, they never lie. So we are disappointed where we are. However, the reality is our two of our better performances against like Bristol Rovers and Burton, if we deal with them, we're 3 points off the playoffs and been still the same frustrations with our start. But I expect negativity. But we're in a situation here. This football club for 2 years has done nothing but lose football matches. So the first thing you try and address when you come in as a manager, you have to stop that wheel. You can't just simply reverse it. You have to stop it. So you have to stop it. So you have to stop losing football matches, which we've done. We've not lost all our games, so we've stopped that. But it's more difficult to reverse the wheel and get winning football matches. But that will come. Our performances and a positive play, and I'm not going to go on about XGs and things that supporters are like scratch their head at, but what we would say our performances in lots of games, and I could name them, have been very good. Huddersfield, Bristol Rovers here, Burton here should be 3 straight home wins. Away at Charlton we should win, but we've not. So over a period of time they come back to haunt you and give you difficult moments like we're experiencing now. But my job is to make sure we keep confidence in the camp and we keep working hard. And I'm very, very fortunate. I had a absolutely brilliant meeting with our chairman and vice chairman of the week, with Tony Stewart and Richard Stewart. And when you go and sit with them and you're in the back of this little run, our chairman's words will stick in my head forever. You've got more money in the bank as a manager here than anyone's ever had. So we have money in the bank in terms of points in the bank to turn it and build. So we're working hard to do that.
How reassuring as a manager is it to hear that? Because I suspect that's not a common thing for a manager to hear in the modern game.
Well, I don't know if it's common or not. Always has been in my time here under the Stewart family. It's always been common. I think Paul Warren got it. I think somebody was reminding me, he went, the stats people behind us will tell us, I think maybe Warren went 10, 11, 12 games not winning in League One, same scenario. But the performances were good. The attention to detail was still good, and it comes. Those words were nice to hear, but Tony Stewart doesn't bring me pressure. I'm comfortable enough in life. If I'm not working, I can pay my bills. So that doesn't bring pressure, but inside pressure comes, and here pressure brings. And you listen to some much higher placed and better managers than me who talk about, you should feel the pressure first and foremost for yourself. But I'm not used to Millers fans booing and Millers fans not being happy, so that's hard to take personally. But my job is to go away and get in the trenches and fight, so that's not the case going forward.
What do you like when you have that kind of reaction? Is it sleepless nights? Do you overthink things ever, or are you quite easy to sort of brush that off?
No, I think I've always been a case where I become. I've done it most of my career. Is go back and look at the facts. So go back and look at the evidence. Go back and look at the game. And there's been lots of games that my teams have been poor, but there's been thousands of games in which we've been very good. Not thousands, hundreds. It's been very good. Thousands, but we've been very good. So, but yeah, you don't sleep. Whatever anyone was saying, you're still down in your kitchen having a coffee at 3-4 in the morning and bringing up footage, and your family quite rightfully get the concerns that they have for your welfare and your well-being. But my job is a simple football manager's job where you must get results, and but we will get results. That's never in doubt here that we'll get results. Our squad is a good squad. We've got good players. We've been hammered a little bit by injuries at times to key players, whereas we look at oppositions who moan about injuries and really none of them are going to play, like we said against Charlton. So from our point of view, we just have to keep focused. We know how tough our next 3 or 4 days is, away to Shrewsbury and Paulhurst and then away to Monkey down at Cambridge. So we know how tough they're going to be. But great incentives to get a 2-year statistic off our back.
I was going to ask about that. Is there anything that could be more energising right now than finally breaking that away run on Saturday?
Well, I think it goes back to they've been on a wheel of losing games for 2 years. And it must be so depressing and so hurtful not only for people inside the football club, not only to Tony Stewart, who probably bankrolls his club by £7-8 million a year. I don't know the numbers, so I apologise, Chairman, if it's more or less. But to our supporters, because they pay the hard-earned money to get in the car or go on the supporters' coaches and trains and travel and support our team. And to go 2 whole years, 2 calendar years without winning a football match away from home is pretty damn hard to take. And you can't, as a manager, sit and promise that it will happen on Saturday or it will happen on Tuesday. But we'll be doing everything we can to make it happen. And we're humble enough to know what that will mean to them, never mind anyone else.
On the injury front, how are you looking? How are Wilkes and Clark Harris? Is there any chance of Liam Kelly being back for this?
Kelly won't be fit. Kelly will be missing for a week or 2 more. Clark Harris will have a test today. Sean Raggett will have a test. Jordan Hugo was absent because he's a close member of his family was ill in the week, so he had to go and deal with that. Saying it's a test, we just want to see him back in the training. So we'll see how they are, but we want to pick a team that's going to really work hard for the cause tomorrow, and that's a difficult one. I just watched a full rerun yesterday of or last evening of Shrewsbury losing 1-0 at home to Charlton, and Shrewsbury can count themselves very unfortunate. That's just me sitting there as a neutral, so we need to be ready.
Callum McFadden training with the club.
He was
training.
Yeah.
Is he not?
No. I've got a brilliant relationship with his brother Carl, who played for me, and I signed Carl from, he's now at Blackburn of course, but I signed him from Nunley at Alfreton down to Crawley, and he was magical for me. But that's the family relationship. So he was trained at Lincoln, I think Callum was, and asked if he could have facilities here for a couple of weeks. So we've allowed that, but that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, no chance of him.
No. We've got, for me, we've got Reece James and we've got Colin Bramwell, 2 excellent players in that position. Callum had a good season last year at Wrexham, but we provided some facilities, and we're happy. We've done it for many players over the years, and we're happy to do it again for players or families we know, because we are helpful when we can be.
How's the competition going at Goalkeeper? Is it sort of something that you assess week to week, or how close is Cam Dawson to sort of knocking on the door of getting a start?
He's been close every week. Every week there's been a real debate in the coaching staff about who starts. And Dylan, in our opinion, has to have slipped a little bit for Doss to get his chance. But the one thing we've got in Cameron's a big character. He's not only a big lad like you, he's a big character. And competition has been really good this week. I have to say, and I'm touching wood as I say it though, but both goalkeepers have been really good this week. So, but we'll make a decision on training today.
Brilliant. Cheers, Steve.
Thank you.
Is Malik okay, Steve?
Yeah, he just had a knock on his calf. You know, it probably told one or two of the passes that he did last Saturday. He had a little knock, but we took him off. But he was out yesterday. He's come through unscathed, so we'll see how he is today.
Okay, and what's Sean's issue?
Sean Raggett just twisted his knee a little bit. Again, nothing serious, but enough to give us a concern that he has a test today.
Yeah. Is that the same injury he had before?
No, different leg. Different leg.
Just
Just an innocent one, practicing heading. Sean loves to practice his heading. He's very good at it, and it's practice makes perfect. And he just landed and just twisted a little bit. So, you know, if it's the last day of the season, but we don't think about it. We put him out. We cannot, and I will not allow ourselves, despite results not being there for us at the minute, I would not allow players to begin out there not 100% and then give us 12 and 15 week problems as opposed to a week problem. So, but we hope that Sean will be able to be on the coach today.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big thing getting him back, wasn't it, last week? Now
his performance spoke in volumes. I think one of the better points against Birmingham was Sean's performance. I think he was still commanding and strong. Don't remember myself of them winning too many headers. It was more on the floor, if you like. So he's a big threat in opposition boxes as well. So we want him out there, but we'll see how he is today.
Come in. Who's there for me? Dismount. As soon as you see the trigger set, you're leaving it down this side. And you come on with your left foot.
Jamie, how have you found this season so far, being back at Rotherham United and getting some football?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Obviously, it's been a different start to the season, you know, results-wise, but you know, I've really enjoyed coming back and getting the opportunity to play. I think that's all I've asked for when I came here, and luckily, you know, the Gaffer seen something and gave me a chance, and I'm just trying to repay him every time I step on the pitch.
What is that like then when a new manager comes in, and does it almost feel like a fresh start, like a chance to impress the manager and work your way into contention again?
I think so, yeah, but obviously, you know, the summer coming back injured wasn't ideal, and then, you know, the club had placed me on the transfer list, so it was a bit of an uneasy feeling coming back, but you know, the Gaffer and the staff were great for me with it from the first minute, and, you know, as soon as I get back fit, like I said, they gave me that opportunity.
I suppose it'd be quite easy to come back to a club, you put on the transfer list and your mind be somewhere else, like get me somewhere else, go somewhere else where that's not the case. So how did you manage to turn that into, no, I'm going to come here and prove a point?
I think that's just in my nature and my personality, you know. I've always liked that. I think even when I wasn't playing, you know, I always tried to demand the best for myself and the best standards. And I think, you know, if you can do that, it will carry you through, you know, your playing career in life well. And I think that just kind of transferred over to this season as well. You know, I just kept my head down, got back fit, and, you know, done my best.
Are you the kind of person who can kind of not worry about stuff too much? Because I suspect some people would overthink things a little bit. Are you able to avoid that quite comfortably?
I think so, yeah. Out on the pitch, maybe not so much. I think any manager that's had me tells me I'm quite emotional, you know, on the training pitch and that, but that's just competitiveness and, you know, my willingness to do well and play. So, but off the pitch, you know, I always knew if I got my opportunity, I would do my best to take it, and hopefully I can keep doing that.
What's prevented the club so far from having the kind of start that I think everybody expected it to have?
It's difficult to say. You know, it's a brand new team. You know, a lot of new faces in. Obviously, with the new manager as well. Obviously, it'd been there at the end of last season, but so many new faces. You know, you need to try and gel, and then injuries. You know, to players that were playing. You know, it kind of disrupts the flow of the team. I think there's been quite a good few performances in there that haven't really turned into results, and we know that ourselves. You know, the Gaffer's pinpointed reasons for that, and I think it's things we can work on as a team, but I'm quite confident that we'll get there.
Was last weekend the first game really when everybody sort of came off the back of that and thought, you know, because you've been in all of the games that you've not won, you've felt like you've had chances to win. Was that the first one where that perhaps was a little bit different?
I think so, yeah. I think that was a disappointment that we never really gave it a right good go, and, you know, we came off thinking, you know, in all honesty, they didn't really come out of second gear in the second half, which was disappointing from us, and I think we knew that, you know, apart from maybe the first half at Exeter as well, the first game of the season, but, you know, that's something we can put right tomorrow.
The club's not won away from home in such a long time. How mindful are the players of that, and if you're able to break that record, it does feel like it would lift a weight off the shoulders of the fans.
Yeah, definitely. It's an unwanted record, and I think everyone is conscious of it, but you know, I think if you think about that and not the actual process of trying to win the game and doing our jobs and that, you know, you can get distracted. So I think, like tomorrow, it's a game we want to win, a game we want to get 3 points and start building momentum again.
What do you make of your opponents tomorrow?
Shrewsbury, a tough team, you know, obviously I've seen them last year as well. They're a physical, direct team, and like every team in this league, it's going to be a tough game.
Cheers. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Jamie, you were at Barnes last year. You played a big part in the playoffs. How does this team compare to that team?
You know, it's difficult to say. Similar to the Barnes, I think we've got a lot of good individuals. You know, obviously that team had played together for maybe a wee bit longer. The players had gelled a wee bit more. There was partnerships there. But I definitely think, you know, there is similarities. But I think this league this year there's a lot more competitiveness. I think, you know, with the teams that dropped down, including ourselves, and the teams that came up from League Two, you know, it's a much tougher league, and I think that's shown in the results so far this season. Anyone can beat anyone.
You started every league game this season. Excuse me. So you're one of Steve's main men. How much the difference does it feel to feel wanted?
Yeah, it is nice, but you know, like I said, I don't take that for granted. I think, you know, that was maybe a happy byproduct of the past 2 years. Is I don't take anything for granted. You know, every time I get selected, it's brilliant, and I'm given 100% to try stay in the team for the next game. So that's all my focus really is you know, trying to make sure I'm in the team for the next game.
Yeah, it's a competitive area, isn't it? Especially now Sean's back.
Yeah.
4 good players going for 2 places.
Yeah, and I think that's what you want all over the pitch, and I think you would need that for a promotion winning team. Is you've got to have competitiveness and squad depth. So I think we definitely have that.
Yeah, the results haven't gone your way, but the stats stack up completely in your favour. False position at the moment, confident you'll...
Maybe, yeah, you know, but like I said, the stats could stay like that for the season. It's on us to, you know, change them into the results, and that's the most important thing. Whether it is just, you know, getting that scrappy win just to build a bit of momentum and go from there. But like we said, the full responsibility is on us as the players, and I think we know that.